Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Anybody heard that song before? Quick raise of hands. Who's heard that song before? Jen is on that. I heard that. Of course, the DJ's on it. Let's go, DJ. I heard that song for the first time at a Tom Ferry summit, and I'm like, man, that just gets me ready to learn, I guess. I don't know, or just get some energy going. But who's got something good to share? Who's going to get us started today? Come on. Now, Caitlin, I know you got something good to share. I saw it come across the chat channels. I don't know if you're in a position to talk.
Yeah. I closed my first listing yesterday. Clients are really pleased. It was all over a pretty smooth transaction. So, yeah, very happy for them.
Awesome. And I think you ended like 3 Zillow Flex deals recently. I don't know if that was all this weekend or what happened, but it seemed like you went off on Zillow Flex.
Yeah. So the listing that closed yesterday was actually a Zillow strictly buyers lead that came in for a condo. And I got speaking with them and learned that they had a home to sell and got involved in that process and put them in a ranch home, maybe like $150,000 over that initial budget that came through Zillow. So
Beautiful.
kind of cool, just an okay lead turning into a really great opportunity and sale. So
Cool. Well, good for you.
yeah.
The topic that I've got teed up today is just really at the front of my mind, and I'll probably hit upon it quite a bit in the upcoming months, because it's something that I feel like I did really, really well. Then I let it slip, and I am on a mission now to make sure this doesn't happen to me again. So I want to just play a clip from for you guys here. Let's see if I can get this going. Yeah, share. All right, let's let this run.
2 areas that are very important. The first one, technical skills. Second area that's important, communication skills. If you are technically brilliant, say you're 10 out of 10 technically brilliant. However, if your ability to communicate is a 3 out of 10, do you think people perceive you to be a 10 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10? We are only as good as we can communicate. This is a human skill. As you improve your ability to communicate, you improve the impact that you have within your teams, you improve the impact that you can have in your personal lives. I've taught this to thousands of students, and I always see the same thing. Technically brilliant individuals not being recognized for how amazing they truly are. And it's simply because they keep telling others that, oh, I'll let my work speak for itself. Why not do both? Why not do both? We live in a society of this or that. It's not or, it's and. It's both. When you become undeniably great technically and you become undeniable with your communication skills, do you know what happens? Reality becomes negotiable. You can negotiate any reality you desire. I believe in life there are 2 areas that are very important. The first one.
So Jay Hayes is not on the call this morning, but he actually shared that clip with me. And I don't think he realized how front of mind it is for me right now. And I would encourage all you guys, if you see something, please say something. DM me on Instagram, send it over to me via a text. If you say, hey, this can impact that group on the morning call, please share it over, and I'd be happy to tee it up so we can talk about it. I've got my "We is bigger than me" shirt on today. And I truly believe that that's what we can do with this call. I've said this multiple times. I want to elevate this call. and people that are coming to the call and sharing stuff like that we can then dive deep, I think is just really, really impactful. And we can raise the roof on this, on what we're doing here every morning, 8:30 to 9. But back to the story. So I was in the brokerage business for 2007 to 2015. So 8 years, where I had a brand. I was involved with the Century 21 franchise, and they gave us the nice logos, and we told all of our agents that you should just tell everybody you're a Century 21 agent, and they will just come flocking because the brand was so good. And the reality was the brand really didn't do anything for our agents. It really came down to the agents and their brand. And I started to realize that, and I started to realize that we were just kind of giving money away to Century 21. I didn't feel like we were getting anything back in return. And I decided to open up Revithis Realty. And I started coaching with the Tom Ferry organization. And Tom said to me, you got to do video. You got to get out there. And so right out the gate, we did a show where it involved me being out communicating a lot. We were doing shows, I feel like almost once a week. We did 3 seasons where we would go and interview local businesses. And I think a lot of agents got attracted to what we were doing. A lot of consumers got attracted to what we were doing simply because of that show. That show had nothing to do with my real estate skills. Zero to do with my real estate skills. We didn't talk about real estate. We didn't give any real estate tips. We didn't do any of that stuff. It just put me out there as somebody that people were connecting with, that people knew. And I was able to influence people with no skills. I mean, I had the chops, right, on top of it. But I feel like I could have done it without the chops. People were coming in because of what we were putting out. And I think kind of same thing is going on now, right? So I feel like I've leveled up significantly as a broker owner, as a leader, as a team leader, as an entrepreneur since then. That was 2015. We're coming up on a decade of running teams, running a brokerage, et cetera. So I think my technical skills have improved tremendously, but I stopped doing that show. I stopped talking about what I'm doing. And I don't think we've been able to leverage the brand, and I've had some of the leadership team, kind of push me on this, that we could be much bigger than what we are. But this, I think, is happening to a lot of you guys as well, right? So it's happening to me at the level of where I'm trying to go, but I think it's happened to a lot of agents. I see a lot of agents, like I said, I'm starting to get back into social media now. I see a lot of agents that do a lot of posting, and they're out there and they are sharing their knowledge. And I know they don't have a lot of reps under their belt. And I really think that we are at a time where if you don't start to do this, it's really going to affect your business. Can you continue to do it without it? Yes. But if you want just a little bit easier path, I think we've really got to start to focus on this stuff. And you've got to up your communication skills. Your clients got to see you, and you got to figure out who you're speaking to, and figure out what the messaging is. Who's your tribe going to be? And start small, but start, because this is unfortunately where we're at, like it or not. And when we talk about this industry moving into professionals are going to do this. And they're going to understand that if you don't do this, you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving deals on the table. The kind of thought process behind where I'm trying to get comfortable with this is that we are, for lack of a better word, trying to organize generosity, I guess, right? If you're going to share, it's not, I struggle with just kind of putting myself out there and this is what I'm doing and look at me, right? So I'm trying to figure out, how do I internalize what I'm about to do with this journey that I'm about to take on here moving forward, so that I feel comfortable with it, right? Because, bragging, gloating, that's just never been my thing. My thing is put my head down, build the best systems, build the best process. The agents will kind of show how good we are. We'll build great agents. They'll go out into the marketplace. That will be my legacy. And I think I got to do both. I've got to be able to build the systems, the process, et cetera, but I also got to be able to go out there and talk about it. And I know some of you guys, you coming on this call, you're great agents, you're getting the reps, you're doing the deals. And I just wonder if, a few more posts, a few more DMs, a few more conversations on social could kind of get you to that next level. And if we think about it as, hey, I'm just sharing what I know. I'm not gloating, I'm not bragging, I'm just sharing. So generosity to others. So I want to kind of leave it right there and kind of open it up for a little bit of conversation. What are you guys hearing? What's resonating? What else do we want to dig into on this? Anybody feel the opposite? Hey, you know what? I'm not that good. I haven't done that many deals, but man, I'm killing it on social and I'm getting deals because of it. Anybody on the call there? My social presence is so good. It's bringing in the business for me. And then, I'm making sure I do right by my clients. But it was a little bit of, I'm going to fake it till I make it on social. Anybody feel that way? Carolina.
I feel like that's always been me, but I have a decent online presence and people just gravitate to me because of social media. So I never really had to search for the business. It kind of just fell into my lap.
Yeah. I think, well, look, I don't know that how much of that you were doing right out the gate. And I don't know, I think you might be giving yourself a little disservice that you didn't know what you were doing, right? You did a lot of reps right out of the gate and got educated up pretty quick. But yeah, maybe you were getting a little bit of extra business without having to put in, if you look at the top producers in most markets and you look at how long they've been in business, 10 plus years, easy, 10 plus years to be a top producer in the market. I believe today, I see your hand, Bob, I'll get to you. I believe today you can be a top producer in under 24 months in any market if you do social right. Bob, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to be totally honest. I sucked at that type of presence. I mean, I never really know what to do. It seems like the younger crowd, they know how to do the social media. I'm just being totally honest. I mean, I've been in the business for many years. I have like a Facebook page. It's just very boring. I'm just really not good at social media, which I can't think of the guy at Real that talks about hooks. He sent me some information, which I'm trying to sift through and try to understand. I used to have an Instagram account, which I still have it. I just guess I never know what to feed it or how to attract. It's totally different business now than what it was, 24, 25 years ago.
Yep.
But just being totally honest, I really suck at it. I wish I had more knowledge of it.
Yeah. And Bob, can you just tell the group how many lifetime transactions you have under your belt, please? You're muted.
I have over 1,000. I built a huge business.
Did everybody hear that number? Done over 1,000 transactions. So is this somebody that has the technical skills, right? But doesn't have the influence side of things, right? So we're just not going to let it happen, Bob, right? And I am on a mission and I'm going to lead by example. And you guys can hold me accountable to it because we're going to change the way we're doing things, and I hope that we're going to share some strategies on here on how somebody like you, the phone should be just ringing, the DM should be coming in, and I think we can make it happen. And I think we can make it happen the Bob Price way. Carolina.
I think my biggest thing is I never overly post real estate. It's mostly just my life, things going on, my kid, my dog, and here and there I sprinkle it in. And so in people's mind, they always see me, but then they're like, oh shit, they associate me with real estate because they see it sprinkled in. And I'm not just throwing constant real estate because people unfollow you, you fall out of the algorithm, all that stuff. Because no one gives a shit about what you're doing day to day in work, but they care about your life because people are curious. So I think that's been my key to stay in the forefront is just be fucking real and not overly post work stuff.
Yeah, one of the best things I ever heard, Bob, on this one, and I'm calling you out, but I promise you there's others on the call that are struggling. You're not the only one.
No,
With,
I don't take any offense.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
I
but
don't do it. I thought about, now that I live in Punta Gorda, I thought about maybe going around to some of the restaurants and some of the local businesses and maybe just getting in contact with the owners trying to promote the Punta Gorda area.
yeah, I don't know if we'll have time for it today, but I will make sure on this call we show some of the early WMAS biz stuff and how bad it was. But you got to start somewhere, right? And I think, being that hometown media guy is huge and absolutely a way that you could break in. But where I was going was one of the best ways I've heard about how to think about what Carolina's saying, which is just kind of documenting your life, is that for the first time ever, future generations, whoever your relatives might be, right? You've got a digital footprint, right? How cool would it have been if I could go back and look at my great great grandfather and what he was doing? What was his day-to-day life like? How did he act? What did he sound like? Right. And so those are some of the things that even Carolina, what she's doing is, who knows what the future generations, right? At some point, hopefully she's going to be a great, great, great grandmother, and people will be able to look back and see what she was like. Right. And if we don't capture this stuff and we don't get it out there, nobody will ever know. So just a way to think about it, KB.
Yeah, I just had two quick things that I wanted to throw out there, just for Bob's that might be helpful. So Bob, if you go either into Zendesk, but you can even just do this in Perplexity, and you just ask the AI to create you a social media calendar for the year, it will create you of exactly what you want, right? Like, this is who I'm trying to attract. This is what I'd like the content to be, a little bit of real estate knowledge and intertwined with some personal stuff. It will create a whole calendar for you. So it can give you ideas so you don't have to try to find them on your own. And then the second thing that I wanted to mention to everyone, and I can't post a picture in here, but Reel's actually putting on a training today. Sharon's hosting it, and it's the 2025 digital marketing blueprint. So I think it's going to be a combination of some of the Jimmy Mackin engagement texts, as well as some social media stuff. So they have a team leader out of Tampa that's pretty big, I guess, on social. It should be a pretty awesome training, and I'm sure you guys would definitely get something out of there. So I can post it in the chat room, because I can't post a picture in here for some reason, but might be a good thing for you to take a look at. It's today, so.
Yeah, great share, KB. Bob, did you want to comment?
What time today was Sharon? I thought I would ask KB what time today.
Yeah, hang on one second. I'm trying to find the screenshot. It is today at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Thank you.
Yep. So I'll post it in the chat rooms for you guys.
So on this kind of journey that I'm embarking on now, and trying to share some stuff out there, I actually listened to, I've seen, like, the interesting thing about Sharon is I've been coaching with this guy for over 2 years. His social media presence was nowhere near where it is today. This has all been over the past 2 years. And I remember him telling me that he coached Alex Hormozy. Right. So he was in a mastermind with Alex where he was coaching Alex on different things, and his wife, Layla. And Alex is the same kind of story. Raise just a hand raise if you know who Alex Hormozy is. Have you seen any of Alex's stuff? Just quick hand raise. Oh, more people need to know who Alex Hormozy is. He is really, really good when it comes to entrepreneurship. So please, Alex Hormozy, AlexHormozi. Please give him a follow. he has been he's probably up there with like, you know, the Gary V's, the Grant Cardones on like how much traction they're getting on social, and it's all happened seemingly overnight. So, and the reason why I'm telling you that, I've seen Sharon do it seemingly in less than 2 years. I've seen Alex Hormozy do it in less than 2 years. And I think these guys are, so Alex had built up one of the largest gym businesses in the country and sold it for a lot of money. So this is the same type of an individual, great entrepreneur, great technical skills. Nobody knew who he was. And in 2 years, he was able to change that. So I think all of us plan on being in this business for more than 2 years. And I'm speaking from experience, you know, with a really shitty WMS Biz show. It got me so much attention that it's crazy looking back now that I didn't continue to do something like that to continue to build my personal brand. So, you know, just speaking from experience, it's a big miss for me. And I don't, you know, for you guys, I don't want to see it happen to you. And so together, hopefully we can work on this. And Bob, I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of goddamn work. I don't want you, you know, all social media is like easy. It's not easy. It's free, but it's not easy. Right. And so I want to be clear about that. Even when I've been pretty active, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it. You got to get into Canva. You got to do all this stuff. Like, it's not easy, but comparatively to other work that you could put in, I think the returns are significant. Who else wants to comment? Debbie.
I just have a comment. I mean, I get what you're saying, that it's not easy. And I guess if you're making a big production out of it, or you're doing big shows, or you're putting crazy graphics up, it definitely isn't. And it takes a lot of work and, you know, probably a lot of thought that gets put into it. But some of the stuff that I think people engage with, really well, it is easy, right? It's you being you. It's you doing your thing every single day. And I think that's kind of like where Carolina was coming from, right? It's not necessarily that it has to be a big production. It's just little bits and pieces of who you are as a person, what is going on in your life, and, you know, sprinkle some real estate in there so that they know that you're the person. And I think if you're looking to start and you're not comfortable, it doesn't have to be a huge production. It just has to be baby steps. Right. So I think that there's two sides to that. Right. And when you're getting started, I don't want you to be discouraged because you feel like it's a big, huge process. It can be really simple in the beginning and you can still get somewhere with it. It's more about consistency, I think, than it is about, you know, making it some big fancy production. So as long as you're consistent and you have a plan for what you're going to be putting out there every single day, it's a great place to start.
Yeah, and maybe I should clarify. Bob, getting started, it's not going to be easy, but we got to get through it, right? The best things in life aren't easy. So that's kind of more where I was going is once you're in the groove and you've got your systems and process, yeah, things are going to just light up, and it's going to be a little bit of work here. No big deal. Well, you've worked hard, right? You don't get to 1,000+ transactions without some hard work. So I think you got some hard work in you. Who's next? Lauren.
I think that focusing your videos on something you are passionate about is going to make a majority of them easier. I'm thinking to my sister and her husband have a lifestyle brand that they started in South Carolina. And for years, they just videoed themselves out fishing and hunting, and then like a side part of preparing the food that they made and things like that. And for years, they just posted these videos. And now, like 3-4 years later, they just got their first check from YouTube for growing the brand. They have partnerships all over the state from like lifestyles that relate to what they've been doing. And it took a long time, but they just loved doing what they were doing. So they were just documenting it. It was easier to not give up because they cared about it.
Yeah, Gary V's big phrase on that was document, not create. Right? If you're not a creator, if you're not like into marketing, and then it's going to really feel like more of a struggle that you feel like you got to always create content. So his unlock was document. Just document what you're doing, right? And I think some of the best people and I always, would make fun of the people. They're like, oh, can we get a quick picture? Can we just get a picture? If you take the time to do the picture, then you've got the content later for the post. Keely.
So I decided I really didn't have a presence on TikTok, right? So I was thinking like, what can I do? And so I decided that I was just going to post about my journey, like my knee replacement journey. And I cannot tell you the replies and the thousands of people who like the content that and it's just me being me. Hey, this is like week 1, this is week 2, and documenting it. And I mean, people come out of the woodwork. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. So, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to really do these videos because I don't know the lighting and everything. Like it's real, like these people that really do it well know what to do. I said, screw it. I'm just doing it. So I went on TikTok and I just started filming, and it is what it is. I mean, some of them stink, but I just leave them on there and people resonate with them. So just being who you are and just documenting something like that can get you a large following.
I love it. The thing that's coming to my mind as I've gotten back onto the scroll is right now, Tom Brady is documenting his journey to learn how to ice skate. And so it's very embarrassing. Like his first things, he's on there with like one of those things that just keeps you up, and then he's without it, and then he's with a stick. And because in my feed, I've obviously, because of my son and hockey, I get a lot of the hockey stuff. So somehow that is coming into my feed, but it's super embarrassing for him, but people are so engaged. It's, obviously the guy's got a following already, but he's not known for hockey. So we're tribal, right? We want to know about other people. We want to hear the stories. That's where our origins are from, is telling stories and entertaining people. So we spent quite a bit on this today. Obviously a hot topic. I got a bunch of different thoughts on just some different ways to hopefully operationalize these things, and what can we do, and tips and tricks. So we'll start to share more of that. I did want to just say, did anybody have something, because we typically don't go the whole call on a topic like that they just need help with on a deal? Is there a deal doctoring situation that you came to today and you just didn't get a chance to ask that we could help? Okay, good. Good. Well, thanks everybody for your contributions today. Bob, thanks for being a little bit vulnerable. I know you're not the only one, and maybe we're going to do this journey together. That'll be a lot of fun. So have yourselves a awesome Wednesday, and we'll get back after it again tomorrow morning. Take care.